Okay, phase two, and I went back and looked at what we've got.
I have a list, excuse me, I just need to keep a list of things that we need to make decisions about. And I don't mind if we wait and do them all at the same time, but, no, that's right. But we were just on another topic.
She's in the middle of sessions, and she was recognized by the president.
Exactly, and I'm interrupting, because what I'm requesting is.
Then maybe I'll just skip the meeting.
Yeah.
If I don't have the right to ask a question like anyone else, then
You go ahead.
Go ahead, the president said, Dana, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can ask the
I
question.
didn't mean go ahead, leave. I meant go ahead and answer the
Yeah,
question.
don't leave, I mean, ask the question. And again, it's unfortunate we didn't
what
get a
is
chance to
it,
go.
please, can
through
someone,
the
did I
project.
miss a change in the budget for the police station? Because my understanding was that we issued bonds for $3.5 million and we had remaining costs of $866,000. Has that changed? Did I miss something? I'm confused. Phase one was $3.5 million.
Phase one has been
Phase two
completed.
was $866,000.
Phase one has been completed on budget.
Okay,
Phase two, the projections that we were using for last year's plan was based on information before we had the engineering estimates for the complete project. That number to complete the remaining police department related improvements for that site has changed from 875 to 1.5 million.
has that ever come to the board?
The board was presented with the plan that showed the full cost of that project. That was
So we did approve the increase for phase two from 866 to
No, you
1.
haven't approved phase two at all.
Right.
Okay, then I don't understand, then I'd like to understand how that project has ballooned and why this is the first I'm hearing about it. Maybe Public Safety Committee or someone else has been briefed on this, but I don't understand the increase in cost and why no one on the board, I won't say for no one, I haven't been briefed at all that this project has doubled in size, and I'd like to understand why it has, and I'd like to look for ways to reduce that scope down.
I don't have that particular contract, but when it was presented, presumably the public works, it outlined the total expenditures anticipated for the renovation,
It actually went to public safety,
or the public safety.
right? I was on public safety then.
So it outlined the total cost of renovations. That
It
was
was
site
$1 million
acquisition,
in phase one, and right? $1 million.
well, it was site acquisition, some engineering setup costs, taxes, phase one renovations, phase
Okay.
two renovations.
Phase 66.
So the total of all that was presented after the last year's loaning plan was prepared based on preliminary estimates. The residual amount of that compared to what was funded for phase one is 1.5 million, which is more than the 875,000 placeholder that was put into last year's plan, which was also put, I think, into 2020.
Wait. I mean, we approved the project, phase one of $3.5 million, and we bonded for $3.5 million.
You found-
We
Yeah.
issued, our 2016 bonds included roughly $3.5 million. Okay, phase two of that project that we approved was for $866,000.
Well, you didn't approve phase two of anything.
Well, we were told phase two was going to cost $866,000. So what I'm asking you is, has the project, the estimate and the project budget increased?
Not since it was presented to public safety for execution of phase one, site acquisition and construction. No.
So what is the total project budget now? It's like $5 million.
Estimated total project budget.
Well, I would have to look at the documents that were presented to the committee. I have them in my office, but I don't bring them with me. But that cost has not
We
changed.
bonded and paid $3.5 million, and now you're saying there's 1.5 left. So that adds
No,
up to $5
no, that was 2016 bonding for phase one only. The board is not committed to phase two.
So we bonded for 3.5 for phase one, even though we only had 1.5 approved?
We
Is that
had
correct?
final plans and
Yeah.
we had a contract, we got bids, it's $3.5 million to do the
first phase. Then they came up with refined estimates for phase two, and we have not approved anything yet. I mean, that's for,
So phase two is what now?
this indicates 1.5 million.
The remaining items that were not completed on phase one, according to, and I want to say this carefully, but the total project scope, the chief has adjusted the engineer's presentation of what was going in phase one, what was going in phase two to try to maximize functional efficiencies. But the total project budget presented at public safety when the engineering estimates came in, and again, it was 3.5 for phase one, then I've got 1.5 for phase two here, and the total budget that was presented was 5 million.
Was it? I'll check.
I don't,
And I've got it in my office, I checked it before the meeting, I just don't have the paper.
I don't know, I Googled, I searched on our website for that presentation of the chief that we sat through like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And that was phase one, 3.5, phase two, 866. So unless I missed it, but I'm kind of, because
I
I've
could
been,
email it to you.
I've been a little concerned about this project in scope creep and how much we're paying in total. And I have not, let me just say, I'd like an update, whether one-on-one or the whole board, as to, what has changed in the scope, how the costs have changed, because I don't know who is approving that. It's not coming to the board. So who
Well,
is?
they haven't proposed starting phase two yet, it'll come to the board.
Right,
when
well,
they're
then
proposed.
let's change, I propose changing phase two to 866, which is the number.
If that's what you want to plan on,
Yeah. That's
if that's what the board wants to plan on,
$5 million for a
given
single
the
building,
fact that
it's what
staff is instructing and providing information that the remainder of the work to complete in the police department is 5 million, I'd be happy to do that.
No, but you're saying something she doesn't know. So the difference here is the police chief supposedly, and he'll show this to you, I guess, switched costs out of phase one, so it's still 3.5 in phase one, but somehow some of those costs didn't get paid, so now they're going.
No, I wouldn't quite,
Can I just suggest, because that is a big swing, it appears that it might be a big swing. It appears that the cost that we haven't approved yet, that we haven't even seen yet for phase two has nearly doubled. I agree, and it needs explanation. But I think rather than guess and do all these things, my preference, well, my question is, what do we need to do tonight if we need to have finite numbers here that are plannable? There's a lot more work in a lot of these items that need to be done.
Yeah.
We certainly need to hear more about that.
Yeah.
There are a number of other things that I think we need to hear. I'm not sure what it is, aside from knowing this and getting questions for you to get back to us that'll feed both into our long-term plan and our 2018 budget.
Right.
What else, do we need to take action tonight?
Well, that's what I was wondering, is can we make a note, maybe it would make sense to go back to the project list, but just make a note of which numbers need more explanation, because these are all really good questions, but I'm confused about, do we have to resolve it tonight, or do we want to give staff direction to come back with more explanation, and then
That was
we
the intent.
finish?
We can just line
That
up.
was the
Right.
intent, to give us some feedback.
Mhm.
So when we perfect this and bring it back to you late in August, that we've got it in pretty good shape. And I've already noted to check the street resurfacing projects. We've got to add
When you say,
Oakland,
are you talking about number one, if you want some feedback?
yeah, and the police station.
Mhm.
Numbers have to be checked and the cost verified.
And provide us the break.
Pardon?
Maybe provide us the estimate, if there is a chart that has what components are in the 1 point community room, what's that, the bigger component,
Right.
program components.
Yeah, to bring that back.
And then were there other, and then the debt stabilization, that policy, that's what we were saying to look
Yeah,
at.
I
Are
think
there
it's
other
updated.
tools to look at that to mitigate it?
Do you have Oakland on your list?
Yeah, I've got Oakland.
And Oakland is two things. Oakland is some more than
Not
putting
surfacing.
on the spot in the meeting saying how much is it going to cost, but also what might annual maintenance cost to extend it.
Yeah, how much are we spending on it annually, and that'll drive how quickly you want to get at it.
Exactly.
I think my question on the alleys got answered, but for the roads, just to add, if we're going down the list, I would like to know, it seems extremely low to have $500,000 in these out years. I just can't fathom that. I also want to know, I don't believe the board is, I want to feel comfortable with this 1.5, because it does, like, what's the trend over the last 3 years? Are we cutting back on how much linear, I don't want to say linear, it's like, I understand your explanation, but are we sort of cutting back because we don't have as much work?
I think it's okay to say linear. I
Okay.
think it's just, everybody has
You
to
know what I mean.
understand that.
I get it, but you know what I mean. I just want to know, is this a decrease in our pace, or is it because we have less work to do? So just giving me a roundabout, why are these numbers going down? I know you provided a little bit. And then the 500, I want to feel comfortable that we're not going to do a mid-year bonding increase again, like a mid-year increase in the road program. So I want to feel comfortable with that number. And then the 500,000 in the later years, I want to see what we really think. If that's the number, that's the number, but I really want to hear that and understand it, because that will affect the stabilization plan. If you, as you're putting in Oakland, if this is going to be a bigger number, I'd like to know that. And then I guess we could take a straw poll on the Wilson Drive and changing the year. I'm sure I don't know how that will go, but I would like to make sure that that's okay.
You want to change Wilson Drive, or you want to change Lake Drive?
Again, you're making operational comments on a long-term strategic financial
But it makes a
plan.
difference in the year that it's.
No, it doesn't. It's still going to be bonded in 2018.
But doesn't, then we do that during the budget process? When do we do that?
And we can talk about
I'm
the
just
straw
saying
poll
the
right
change.
now.
Well,
They
the feedback you're asking for would all typically be provided in the annual budgeting process when we propose specific levels to budget for borrowed proceeds. Again, this is just a forecasting perspective.
I'm fine with that. If it's not tonight,
Yeah.
wait, tell me when it is.
When what is?
When we would say there were 5 votes that agreed with me, that we would move one of these projects. When will we decide that?
If we decide not to fund it in 2018, budget.
Okay, so during the budget, okay. That's all I want to know.
No, I'm happy to move the scheduling if that's really what we think we're gonna,
We're not-
because this is a communication document as
Then
well.
don't touch it.
I'm just asking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't move the schedule, but then when did we decide that? We can decide that in 2 seconds, just ask.
Hubbard, Hubbard's been in here for Hubbard Park. I'm not sure, is the parking lot really bad? The pavers on the walks are disintegrating. Does the parking lot really need to be rebuilt?
It's certainly not the worst condition of all the parking lots that we own. There was discussion about reconfiguring the lot and also pushing the southern and eastern boundary, if you will, of the lot all the way to the edge of the walk, using a retaining wall system. There's some additional space there to try and maximize parking. The center area, the paver area, is in awful condition, and something does need to be done about that. And I think the thought process when Chris inserted that amount was, let's not make an investment in the center without, considering the rest of it.
I guess I know the walk needs patched, at least to repair, but I'd rather put that money either in the alleys or roads, or, than just reconfigure the parking lot. I don't know what it costs to repair the walk or to just pour concrete or whatever.
We can certainly,
Get an estimate.
we can get some estimates and do that as a request for the 18 capital budget, and you can decide at that time whether that's an 18 project, a 19 project, or no project.
That's a lot of money. That could be applied other places where traffic is.
I'd like to talk about changing the schedule
The thought process there is we would use either Milwaukee's HIPP program again,
Right.
or structure our own resurfacing program with those same types of parameters. And that would be, you know, assuming the weather's good, which you can't always assume, probably 2 days of milling and 2 days of asphalt.
Would you do it half at a time, or would you have to close?
You'd have
the
to keep
street?
it open, so probably, you know, they do outside lanes and then they do inside lanes, or
So you would
vice
keep-
versa.
It would keep the street open?
It would keep the street open, and in react, you know,
Okay.
you'd feel the biggest impacts during the rush hours when both lanes of traffic would normally be utilized.
Sure.
So I'm not gonna say there's no impact. I think, you know, just talking kind of off the top of my head, at this point, I would look to